Hello, Patty here, the country wife from Vermont, now living in South Carolina.
Twist is very much like water. If you knock it.
Today I'm going to talk about finances and what happens when your husband dies and you haven't had a clear view of finances. So I'll tell you a story, but I'm going to do the BLUF first. And our daughter, who works near a military institution, says BLUF means bottom line up front. I have this long story to tell you, but I want to, because I know that people don't watch the whole video, and I can understand that. I watch all the videos. When I'm watching videos, I just watch the whole thing because I like them. But for you to get the value out of this one, I'm going to give you the bottom line up front. So number one, and this is talking about when your husband dies and he's the one who has done all the finances, what do you do? What is the situation? So here's I've got three things that I'm gonna tell you up front. Number one, you need to know the rules of your financial accounts, such that are you an account owner or just an account signatory? Meaning, can you use the account but not be the actual owner of the account? Okay, that's number one. You need to know that. We had a credit union account. We had shifted our money from our Vermont bank to our credit union here. And the credit union has a primary owner, and that was my husband. And he was gone. Makes a big difference. Lots of things you can't do. And you need to know what those are, in case, if that's where all your money is. Okay, number two, you need to be involved with all family financial dealings, both income and outgo. What are your regular monthly bills and annual bills like utilities, taxes, insurance, and where does your money come from? And I'm speaking from the perspective of retirees because we've been retirees for a long time. Okay, that's number two. And number three, who are the points of contact for your financial matters? What are the customer service numbers for your financial accounts and financial creditors? Put them in your contacts so they're there when you need them. I now have many points of contact in my contacts, but I don't have them all, so I'm still working on that one. Okay, so we're going to go back to these again. Know the rules of know who is the owner of the accounts that you use, and not just the credit union account, which is our bank down here. I found that our credit card account was also owned by my husband, and when he was gone, it was frozen. And I'll tell you more about that. So those are the things, those three things: know the rules, be involved in all your financial dealings, and who are the points of contact for your financial dealings. So if you've got those things down, you will not be as surprised as I was surprised. And I'm just going to say right up front, you don't have to worry about me. My husband took very good care of our finances, and so I am going to be fine. Even though when he died, 2/3 of our income disappeared with him, which was a bit of a shock. But I actually knew that that was the case, but knowing it and actually coming to grips with it, that's two different things. Fortunately, we own our home, we own our vehicles, so it's just the monthly bills and the annual bills. So, okay, let's talk about it. I wrote this up. I've got it, and I'm going to try to read a lot of it. And anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So this is what I wrote. Today is a day to talk about real things that happen after the death of one's husband. My husband took care of me all the days of my life. Sorry. Until he was no longer here. He saved a lot of money compared to the money that I saved. He handled all the finances until he no longer could handle them. He often tried to involve me in the management of money, but I was resistant. So he woke up in heaven a couple of weeks ago. Things really hit the fan at that point. On the afternoon of the day of his funeral, our 4 children who had been able to come to be with me invited me and my laptop to go into our TV room so we could cast my computer screen onto the big screen TV. And I use that term loosely. It's not that big, but it's bigger than the TV that I was raised with in the 1960s. So everybody could see what was what. We spent about 3 hours looking at money and where it needed to go. One son is an accountant. 3 sons all have the same retirement account company that my husband and I have. So they are very conversant with the ins and outs of that company. Things that we had an investment account. I will call this account 1, where our retirement savings were housed, both Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs for each of us, plus a small joint account. We also had a credit card at that particular institution. We had a second financial company with a savings and checking account and a credit card at that company. I have a credit union account where my own play money retirement account funds go, which was $200 to $300 a month, which came out of my retirement account from when I was working. When I was working, I put money into 2 different retirement accounts. Since I stopped working very early due to poor health, those accounts were pretty small, but still netted me that $200 to $300 a month. Number 4, we each had Social Security funds deposited in our checking account every month. The good thing about that is that in February of this year, we had those funds transferred to our credit union here just around the corner for our current home, so we could have face-to-face access with helpers when we needed to talk about our funds. Number 5, each month since my husband turned the age when he had to take the minimum required distribution from our IRAs, we have had the minimum deposit amount deposited into our checking account. And in March, we had that transferred to our credit union account here. And number 6, we had also shifted my husband's teacher's retirement funds into the same credit union. So all of our money was coming here right around the corner. We were all set up. All the funds received for living expenses went into that credit union account. By April, all monies were showing up in our credit union account. We decided that we would begin moving the money from our Vermont bank to our credit union. This would entail changing the automatic deductions for the bills we have here that had been auto-deducted from our Vermont bank to be changed to the credit union. A few bills were auto-paid by our financial institution number 1 credit card. So that was our financial situation. Secure, working conveniently, known, but there was one big problem at least. These specifics regarding bill paying, etc., were not known to me. They were only known to my husband, not because he wanted to keep me out of it, but because I didn't want to know. Big problem. Now we come to what I call financial disasters, even though in retrospect, they're not disasters. They were just problems. So in that meeting with our children, who were trying to get me set up securely before they all left the next day, except our daughter, who thankfully stayed another week, we set up auto pay for everything to the financial institution number 1 credit card. And that credit card was set up to auto pay every month at our credit union account. When the boys all left the next day, they left knowing that all was well for their mother's survival, hopefully for many years to come. That was Tuesday. On Thursday, our daughter and I went to the credit union with a death certificate so the folks there would know that my husband had awoken in heaven and we just wanted to get things correct. big problem number one. The credit union account had a primary account holder. That was my husband. He was gone, so the account had to be closed. What? Yes, the amount had to be closed. So all those auto payments that we had just put there on that credit union account could not go there. A new account had to be set up for me. That was really not a problem at all. The young woman who helped took maybe an hour, and everything was done. She was very helpful. She asked all the questions that I or my daughter answered. And we walked out of there with a newly minted credit union account and a debit card all in my name. So we went home and began changing all the auto payment instructions to the new account, including the financial institution number 1 credit card. Big problem number 2 and big problem number 3. I went to get gasoline, and the credit card from that financial institution number 1 was not able to be charged. What? I mean, it was a $25,000, whatever you call it, credit line, and there were many thousands of dollars available, but it couldn't be used. So that was the weirdest thing. It said it was non-sufficient funds. I couldn't believe that. So I called the company, and it turned out that because we had paid that credit card with the old credit union account, the money had been returned to the card, listed that the credit union owner was deceased, and so they couldn't accept the money. Okay, I called the customer service number for that credit card, because in 53 years we'd never had a late payment. They told me the problem was not that I couldn't use the card, it's just that I hadn't paid the bill. And I had clearly paid the bill, but the credit union had returned the money and refused the payment for some reason. Well, you know the reason. Okay, when I explained to her, the woman that I spoke to, that my husband had died, she told me that the credit card account was now frozen and that I could not use it, and within 30 days it was going to be canceled. So everything that we put on there as auto payment had to be changed. Okay, to make a long story way shorter, we needed to get the money out of the savings account company, which was institution number 2. And to get that out, when I called my credit union in Vermont to ask about transferring the funds to my new credit union account here, she said, well, it takes, 3 to 5 days, business days. And she said, but if you need your money sooner, you need to do a wire transfer. And I'd never done a wire transfer. I thought that was for crooks and big companies and things like that. But no, you can do it. And they charge you like $25 or $30 to do it. And it was a quick way. So the money should have been there the same day. Well, so we did that. I took some of the money out of that credit union account and transferred it to my new credit union account here, and it worked perfectly. So what you should know is that there's a time when wiring instructions happen each day. And some businesses, and so they have the time when they send wires and the time when they receive wires. And so you need to have the work done at the right time to have it happen that day. Well, so we did that on my credit union account from Vermont. Then I wanted to transfer the savings account from that my husband had saved quite a bit of money. I mean, to me, it was a lot of money. And I wanted to wire transfer that to our credit union account too. And so I called that company and they said, oh, that's no problem, because it was 12:30 in the afternoon and their wire time was 2 p.m. And he said, there's no problem. You'll have it there by 6:45 tonight. So I said, okay, great. Well, I checked that evening and it wasn't there. A large sum of money was not in my account, and it had been debited from that savings account. So where the heck was it? Well, I didn't know. One thing that he had told me was because I was transferring a large sum of money, the fraud people might call me, and I needed to make sure to to answer that call so they would know that I did do this. Well, on Monday, I was talking with my sister on the phone, and I got this phone call, and I'm a little inept, and I pressed the wrong button to disconnect my sister and pick up the other call. Well, it canceled both of them, and I sent a call back, but they didn't answer. And anyway, eventually, later in the afternoon, I called that institution back, and I got a customer service person. They gave me their wire services people, and I said that I had missed the fraud call, but everything was good. And she said, well, we don't see that you were on the mortgage for that house. And I said, well, it would be a funny thing if I did, because we paid cash for the house here. When we sold our house in Vermont, we got the money and we got a check and we paid cash for this house here. She said, oh, okay. And about 5 minutes later, she came on the phone and she said, the transfer has just gone through. It is now in your account in South Carolina. Hallelujah. That was done. So now, big problem number 4, no credit card. I had a debit card with this account, but our children thought it was the wisest thing to have all of our automatic transfers be on a credit card. So they would definitely get paid as soon as they came due. They would be paid. And then the credit card was also on automatic payment. So when that was due, it would be paid off. So there would be no problem. I just need to make sure to check every single day that the money was there in my account. Okay, so that's a great thing. So we applied for a new credit card, and in my name. Well, it turns out that it's 7 to 10 business days before you get a credit card. And I was all worried about that. But then eventually I got to thinking, I bet I could use my debit card when I need to fill the car with gasoline, because that's just coming straight out of it. It's like a Visa, but it's coming straight out of your account. Well, anyway, there we go. So that's what I did, is I got the credit card. It hasn't come yet. Maybe by the end of next week, I'll have a credit card in hand. But I go out to the mailbox every day still hoping it'll come, so that I can actually have a number so I can start putting all those auto payments onto the new credit card. I guess I'm going to learn how to do that myself. Let me see. What else do I say? Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, here we go. So I'm going to read this part. So it was another big concern. We had for many years a financial advisor who we had known and appreciated. Over the years, the advisors in the company had retired and moved on. A year ago, they were bought out by another company who also advised us and managed our retirement funds. They were nice people, probably know or knew their financial stuff. Our children felt it would be better to have the financial institution advisors manage my retirement funds. When we called and said we are going to take the funds out of their hands, these nice people were fine with it, and after they received the death certificate, and said the transfer would be finished by the end of the week. My husband's funds needed to be merged with my accounts. It did not appear to happen by the end of the week, but I assume it will happen soon. Okay, so this is my final big concern. And I've already talked about it somewhat. It was those wire transfers. It turns out that the wire transfers did happen. Let me see. Okay, I already told you that. Don't need to tell you that again. Okay. Okay, so now I say that calling the wiring department found that there had been a few false starts, but the funds did come in. So now, when I was writing this 9 days after the funeral and the initial hours of setting up Mom's finances so she would be secure and things were okay, this morning I received word from the financial advisors that they had merged the two IRA, Roth IRA, and traditional IRA accounts. So now there was just the one account in my name. And so I'm going to be like Scarlett O'Hara and hope that it all works out. I'm not really going to think about it today, but will email our children and throw myself again on their mercy. We have months to figure out how to get the required minimum funds into my checking, my credit union account here, but we will do it. It does appear that those funds were successfully merged, and now if I am even remotely frugal, I should have plenty of money to live on for as many years as I'm alive, which I hope are a lot. I will tell you right now that my great-grandmother was 94 years old, or maybe 96 years old when she died, and I am hoping to follow her plan. My grandmother was in her 80s. My mother was only 67. So I'm way past that, and I'm hoping to live a long time. But anyway, so there is the story of the finances, and I'll show you one other thing, an interesting thing to me. Tour de Fleece is coming up next month. It starts July 4th. And I got this beautiful roving. It's Malabrigo Nube roving. And I just love the color. It's merino wool, and it's going to be, apparently it's difficult for newbies to spin, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I took that and I divided it into smaller pieces, and I pulled it out and made these little sweet little nests that you can see they can pull it out. So I'm going to spin from this. I may even try spinning some of this afternoon. So that's my one crafting thing I'm going to talk to you about today. So that's longer than I was going to talk to you. We're going to call this good. And I'll say to you, I have confidence in the future. I feel like I've got people that will help me. Our children will help me. And there's a financial people, the credit union, who will help. And pretty soon I'm going to have some advisors at our financial institution that holds all of our retirement funds. And I'm confident that all will be well. I just have to be smart about things. And, you know, I should be able to be smart, don't you think? So, do good, be good. Let's do it now together. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. As they say here in South Carolina, have a blessed day.